Rosetta from the Eastern Wake Senior Center, and we're here at the Northern Wake Senior Center, and we're doing a piggy bank ceramic, possibly glazed pig. Today we're just going to clean it. We're going to show you how we start out from greenware to a glazed piggy, just like this. So what we're going to do, Mike is actually pouring today. So he'll hopefully we can pour a pig eventually if we ever get the mold. But we got these. We've had these for a while. We've had these in storage. So this is a piggy bank, and it's green. It has came out of a mold, and you'll see. I don't know if you can see it really good, but it's got a seam where the mold was clamped together and made, a whole mold. You pour the slip in, and then when you take the mold apart, and it'll have the piece will have a slight seam where the mold was clamped together. Today, that's what we're going to do is we're going to clean this seam. But here's some other pieces that just shows a little example of the seam from where it was in the mold. So all this has to be cleaned off before you can fire your piece or glaze it or whatever. That's the first step to whatever you're going to do next. This is a flower pot dish. And see, so this mold was kind of rough. See, you have to kind of clean, smooth all that, and you can smooth it as smooth as you like. So this is the green piggy we're going to clean. This is one that's been cleaned. See how smooth? He doesn't have the seam or anything, and his slot is nice and clean, and his plug hole is clean. And this is a bisque piggy. He's been cleaned and fired, so he's ready for acrylic paint or glaze, either one. And this has underglaze. He's had underglaze painted on him and fired. So this won't smear anymore. It's been fired. So he's ready for a clear glaze on top of him. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start, I'm going to start with the tools. I keep my tools really basic. You can get really detailed, and I'm not even sure about all the detailed tools. But this tool right here is the very basic. This is the only one I use. It has like an X-Acto on one end and a little hook sharp point. I don't know. It works good. Whatever. I don't even know what this tool is called. A ceramics cleaning tool. I did get a set off of Amazon for about $10. It had a whole bunch of tools on it, and this is the only one I use. So this thing's really nice. So, and all you need is a sponge. And these sponges, I believe they are a little bit special for ceramic cleaning. I don't think you can just take any sponge. I think it has to be a soft sponge. But I like this shape because it's kind of rounded to get into rounded corner or rounded edges. I really like it. It's got a straight edge a little bit. All you need is a little bit of a sponge. It doesn't have to be giant. And a tub of water. But we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to scrape with our tool. So let me see. Okay, so this little piggy, I usually start on the bottom. And I'm just going to smooth that hole right there and make it a little bit more round. So I hold my tool like a pencil, and I'll just scrape the edges, take those rough edges off. It just looks like the sharp corner. You just smoothen edges. Oops. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good. When the piggies are fired, they'll shrink a little. So you don't want that hole too big because it will get a little bit bigger. We have the rubber plugs to make sure it fits. So now I'm going to start on that seam. So I'm just going to gently scrape it off. You don't want to go too deep. I hold mine like a pencil. That seems to work pretty good. So I scrape that seam off as much as I can. So you can't feel it. If you can still feel it, you may still be able to see it after it's fired. So we want people to join our piggy bank project. If you would like to get a piggy to do for to join us to do this with us, you can call the center, either Northern Wake, Eastern Wake Senior, or either Northern Wake Senior Center or the Eastern Wake Senior Center, and just let us know, and we'll set up a time for you to come get a piggy. And you can either get one that's green like this and clean it yourself, or you can get one that's already cleaned and bisque, just like this. If you really just don't want to clean it yourself. Some people don't want to start out that way. That's fine. We'd just really like for you to join our project. We have lots of piggies, so don't hesitate to call if you want to do it. We have one lady. We only have one at the Eastern Wake Senior Center so far. And we'd like to do maybe a Zoom session with everybody painting their piggies and socializing. That's such a neat way to socialize. It's fun to play in the dirty stuff sometimes. Mike's learning how to pour, so he's really doing the messy stuff today. It's fun to do the messy stuff sometimes. So, okay, I think we've got that seam pretty much off. Now I'm going to work on his little slot here. Is there a bad storm coming or something?
Yeah, we got some.
Like people. Yeah, people are messaging me. It's like, what in the world? Okay. All right. So we got his slot pretty much clean, scraped clean. So now we're going to start on this seam.
So, Rosetta, while you're doing that, I figured I'd step around here.
Oh yeah,
so this is what a mold looks like. So the pigs came out of a mold similar to this, and if you can see, these aren't the. I just poured these with clay, so they're starting to dry. but that's kind of what it'll like. And then we'll, after they're fully dried, we'll pop the strap off and take them apart, and that's how we get the pigs or the pieces, the ceramic pieces. And so that's a mold.
Is there a certain amount of time we have to let them dry before we can start cleaning them?
So they sit in the molds for about 3 or 4 hours or so, and then you pop them out of the molds, and they need to dry fully. And so you'll let them sit anywhere from 3 to 4 days. If there's something, you might be able to like work on like the hole in the bottom or something while they're still a little wet. But to get to where you're at, where you're scraping and cleaning, you need to let them like completely dry. So 3 or 4 days to a week.
All right. So now I think we're about ready for the water. All right. So I think I'll try to do some water. I try to scrape off as much as I can. Whatever I can feel sticking out, I like to scrape it off and give him a sponge bath last. All right. Okay, so now I think we're all scraped off. The little piggies are easy. They're pretty easy. They're not, this is a really good piece to start with. If you've never done ceramics, this is a great piece to start with. And if you glaze it, it makes them a little bit more durable. These are great gifts for your grandkids. I did my granddaughter one. I haven't gotten it finished completely yet. I think it's going to need, it's going to need another. This is not the one, but this would be a really cute. This will be one that we'll probably sell finished. But my daughter's or my granddaughter's, the one I've done, has been fired one time, and I'm going to put some clear glaze on it and fire it again. And it makes it a little bit more durable too if you glaze them. But anyway, okay, here's my bucket of water. Pan of water. All right, now take my wet sponge and I just scrub on that line where I just scraped it. Just try to scrub it to where you can't see it or just barely see it. As long as I can't feel it, I know it won't show after it's fired. I'm going to clean the hole real good. This hole doesn't have to be perfectly round. It just will not have to. We already have the plugs that are already made. We just smooth it just to make it look a little better. Okay. This little piggy's almost done. So we just smooth the lumpy stuff. It's really nice. The water softens the outer layer, so you can scrub it off. All right. I think this little piggy's about finished. Okay. Yep, this little piggy is he's got an air bubble, so he's gonna have beauty mark. Okay, I think this little piggy's done. You can't see his seam anymore. When he dries real good, you won't be able to see it.
How long do you dry? Let that dry?
Um,
Once you wet it down, what, a day?
yeah, a few hours at least.
Okay.
Like if you want to put some glaze on him, I'd wait a few hours. And then you can either glaze him right now and then fire him, or you could just fire him and he would be like this, ready to paint. You could paint this with acrylics right now. He's ready. But anyway, that's that on that. And then I guess what we'll go through next time will be painting. We'll either put an underglaze or an acrylic. We can even paint on acrylic. But if you glaze these piggies, I think it makes them a little bit more durable, so you can put money in it, like this one. This little piggy's got some money. That's a fat piggy. So yeah, we've got some of these too, I think. Not quite like this,
Yeah.
not the same face, but the big ones. I think we do have a couple of little bigger ones. So yeah, if you glaze them, I think it makes them last a little longer, because you know kids are gonna be shaking that money out. We'll see y'all again. Thanks. See y'all later.